All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about our favorite thing in the world, professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We talked about our WWE NXT review, our AEW Dynamite preview. We also talked about 7 superstars. Credit to, shout out to Wrestling Talk, but definitely read their list, had to talk about it because it was just all these superstars on here. It was like, man, did not miss. Would absolutely be phenomenal if AEW picked up the superstars that we talked about. So make sure you check out that video as well. So but before we get into Oba Femi's future, I want to remind you guys to always, Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So make sure you subscribe and follow the show, follow the network. And yeah, let's talk about some professional wrestling. Hit up that super chat if you have a burning question, a burning hot take in terms of professional wrestling. We can always talk about it here. Send in the super chat, send in that super sticker because you guys are super awesome. I'm just kidding. No, that would have been pretty badass. But all right, let's get into some Oba Femi talk. So Oba Femi, he's one of the best NXT stars I have ever seen in my life. And just in professional wrestling, he's so dominant. He puts on great matches. He's so powerful. He's such a prince, man. It's crazy. He's a Nigerian prince, and he's blessing us with his beautiful athletic capabilities inside the squared circle on NXT every Tuesday night. I think great things about Oba Femi. And obviously, you had Big E saying that he's going to be a future world champion. That's something that, can't be ignored. He recently had his match with Otis, where Otis actually on WWE NXT, I talked about it earlier. I think he put on a good match. I knew exactly kind of how the match was going to go, that although Otis was going to lose, this match kind of put over Otis for Otis can hang out. He can be in the main card, the division. He could be a mid-card champion. He could definitely, challenge for an Intercontinental Championship. That would be pretty cool. Maybe have him feud with Braun Breaker. But right now, he's with the Alpha Academy. I'm not too big on the Alpha Academy, but I don't know. Oba Femi, he's phenomenal. He's almost there. I don't know the exact days away he is of becoming the longest reigning NXT North American champion, but he's gonna get there. It's not if, it's not, whether it's gonna happen. It's a definite. It's a Rembrandt. It's the future. Oba Femi is going to be the greatest WWE NXT North American champion in the whole entire world. I know I mentioned earlier about, him having this open challenge where he goes to Monday Night Raw to get Otis to fight him. Maybe he finds his way to go to TNA to challenge Moose. Or maybe Moose, recently losing the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary in a 6-way elimination match. Maybe this is a great way for Moose to bounce back as well. Moose versus Oba Femi would be absolutely electric. Be definitely one of the greatest wrestling matches of this modern era because you have just these two Goliaths going at each other. These two guys that have all the confidence in the world, who is powerhouses, but at the same time they can get a little technical wrestling a little bit in there. You get a submission here, there, maybe an Arsenal attack, who knows? But Oba Femi, being called up, I think that he would definitely get called up as soon as I feel like a lot of the NXT stars will probably get called up as soon as WWE Raw hits Netflix, because Netflix is going to be wanting some top tier talent. And then you're going to see some talent from NXT level up come up to the main brand. But that could very much kind of burden NXT as well. NXT is going to be debuting October 1st on the CW network. Essentially, they're becoming their own entity, and they're going to have to start selling out arenas. They're going to have to start selling out shows, which I don't think is going to be much of a problem. But if you have someone big like Oba Femi, making a big name roster move to Monday Night Raw, or maybe potentially even SmackDown, it would leave the NXT North American Championship division wide open. Maybe perhaps it could be, a little beneficial actually. Maybe you can have, maybe you could play around with a couple of champions there. Maybe you can have, Joe Henry win one. Maybe Dante Chen, maybe Alexis King, Eddie Thorpe. Maybe they do find themselves inside the mix. But right now, you kind of have the Oba Femi has the stronghold on the NXT North American Championship, and I don't really see it going anywhere, guys. Like I to the point where every single time he fights, I'm like, okay, that's an easy dub. That's an easy dub right there. Doesn't even matter who he's fighting. That's an easy dub. I know big wrestlers, big super heavyweight wrestlers inside the professional wrestling spectrum. It's definitely, in terms of WWE, whenever they get called up to the main roster, not a lot of people know what to do with them. Kind of like what you're seeing happening with like Braun Strowman, what you saw happen with Keith Lee when he got brought up by NXT. Also, Lars Sullivan when he was brought up to Monday Night Raw. It's never really, it's never like you see Omos in the past when you saw the Big Show. These guys like don't really get big name opportunities. But I think Oba Femi's, I think he's different. I think he's different at that, and especially under the Triple H Paul Levesque era. He could definitely get called up to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and just be absolutely amazing. You'd have oh my God. Imagine him versus Gunther in a match. Whoo, that would be, oh my God. Who are you putting your money on? Let me know in the chat. Who would you put your money on? Oba Femi or Gunther in a match for the World Heavyweight Championship? Potentially. Oh, this guy's special. All I know is he's a special superstar. Not a lot of times we get, a lot of, really, really good generational talent like Oba Femi. But if he stays on NXT as the North American, because if he loses the belt, I don't see him. Maybe he could make the jump to fight for the NXT World Championship, which would be great for him, which I could see possibly happening. He could definitely be a world champion. There's no doubt about that. But if he becomes the face of NXT, I feel like he is already the face of NXT. He recently had Ethan Page debut in NXT, taking out Oro Mensah, taking out Noam Dar, defeating Trick Williams in that fatal four-way match for the NXT World Championship at Heatwave. Like, just imagine, like, and some of those superstars as well get drafted. Like, what if you have, Trick Williams get drafted? That could possibly be, be in the future. Maybe Ethan Page finds his way on the main roster. Man, I think that would be pretty great. I could see him on SmackDown already just tormenting, that would be so cool. I would love to see that. A lot of these NXT superstars, a lot of them, they would be so damn good on Raw or SmackDown. It's kind of crazy to kind of just like speculate some of these superstars. And I'm like, damn, NXT has a very talented roster. They're so talented. It's probably the best NXT roster I've seen in a long time. And I'm not, obviously, once when, Seth and Roman, and then you had Finn, and then you had the Four Horsewomen. Like, obviously, it's NXT's always been, kind of a cool thing. Kind of had a soft spot in my heart a little bit. But all in all, I think a lot of these superstars are going to find success as soon as the CW picks up their show. I was kind of doing a little bit of research, kind of searching on, on the World Wide Web, and I saw that, you're gonna have the episode of NXT, but before that, maybe like a pre-show, maybe NXT Level Up. I definitely think they're going to be WWE is going to put their hands in definitely the pool of free agents in terms of professional wrestling industries, promotionals. Probably find some new wrestlers to sign. Arguably, you also have TNA. TNA wrestling. This collaboration, I feel like, will continue. Shawn Michaels said in an interview that this is if you think this is good, just wait. Just wait. 1,010%. I trust the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. I know that he has a knack for making the WWE a better place. He's a great creative mind. He's brought in, he's the perfect, he is the perfect CEO or, the creative mind to bring attention to NXT. And with the best way to put it is you have the face right there. If Oba Femi becomes the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, which he will, yeah, that scenario actually seems like more likely to be, the actual case because they need him. They need him to sell out arenas. I don't know if they're going to be, I don't know what the commercials are going to be like on the CW. I see it still kind of being the same as the USA Network. I don't really see the show changing too much. I don't see it getting more graphic. I don't see, getting more verbal or becoming more, PG-13. Although I've had heard a lot of more cussing on NXT as opposed to Raw and SmackDown. Especially, I think there was a promo from Chase U, and Thea Hill was like, "Everybody just shut the," and it was just so funny. The smallest girl in the room, and everybody was like, "Dude, this girl's like, she's gonna bite your head off, man." So I thought that was, definitely thought that was pretty cool. If NXT wants to, maybe they could let Oba Femi go and maybe get called up to Raw or SmackDown, but it's more than likely that they need him. They need Oba Femi, the kind of presence that he brings backstage, and also the way he performs inside the ring. No, it's just special. He puts over other superstars as well inside the ring. So definitely think he's going to be staying with NXT. Definitely helping them with this new era, heading to the CW. All right, guys. So it's almost it for me. I got one more segment to take care of. We have my man Emran's GSMC Soccer Podcast starting in about 20 minutes. So, kind of got to wrap this up super quick. Apologize for the technicality and the, technical delay. So we're going to try to get through this. We're going to try to power through this as fast as we can. So, hey, stay tuned.